Hey, we're here for part two with Kevin Mullins, CEO for Wrap Technologies. We're going to talk about another product you offer, which we really like. We enjoy it. We have a good time training with this product. We're big trainers in our company. We love to get trained. And Wrap Reality, this device is not like a typical training device that a lot of agencies use with the boards on the wall or the screens you have to put up, and everything's got to be exactly the right way. And it's a big to-do to get set up. Tell us a little bit about Wrap Reality.
So Wrap Reality is our virtual reality training platform. So we can basically drop an officer into any scenario. So you mentioned like the screen-based, kind of like a 180 like projector you set up and you do all of these things with. What we're teaching with Wrap Reality is we can immerse you into a situation. So if you're in that projector base, you look up, it's still the same ceiling, it's still the same floor. We can put you in any world that we want to, in any type scenario that we can put you in. So there's two pieces to it. There's a trainer and there's a trainee. And then what's unique about Wrap Reality is we have predefined scenarios that, depending on how the trainee is responding, we can make the situation better, or we can make it worse, or we can free play. So take it in any direction that we potentially want to. So we have scenarios that cover obviously active shooter events. So we need to a lot of active shooter training. They would deal with those. We deal with other type of that may be physical events that we're involved in. But think about like we have a whole new generation of officers coming in that need verbal skill training, right?
Right.
So we have that elderly man with dementia. He's in a restaurant. He's looking for his wife, and he doesn't know what to do. He's confused. And then an officer has to come in and be able to speak and build a conversation, help that elderly man get the help that he really needs. Think about from a mental health standpoint that we have someone who's suicidal. How do we talk that person down? How do we build that eye contact? How do we get a dialogue with that individual so they don't jump off a bridge or so it's very unique in that. Also, bias training. How do we do that? And a lot of different types of training platforms have some type of like e-learning, or they have like role playing,
right,
where we'll bring other officers in. And you think about the cost associated with that. The unique piece about Wrap Reality, it's totally VR, so it's fully immersive. So you learn 4 times faster, and you're going to retain that information 3 times greater.
Wow, and it's a great tool. We've done it ourselves, all the folks at Tactical Innovations, and it is so real, and you are so immersed in it. One of the things that you just mentioned is, I think, a key part of this is the verbal skills. Our trainer has trained lots of law enforcement agencies from tactical standpoints to shooting, been a pro shooter. But one of the things that the comments he made the first time he was on Wrap Reality a while back was, he was like, wow, man, he said, when you're in here, you're kind of in this world and you're in the officer's shoes. Now, he trains officers on tactical affair, approach, retract, all these different things that are so important to an officer that goes into a hot situation, right? But as far as de-escalation for a person that's, about to jump off a bridge, or the elderly person, that's not something that he does on a regular basis. And the first thing he says, wow, man, it's kind of hard being this guy standing right here. He said, I'm trying to think, what do I say and how do I do it? He did a great job. We had the scenario where the young lady was looking to jump off of the bridge, and if you remember, Jamie goes right for her. I mean, he like launches out, like goes to the ground almost. He's going to get this girl because he's not going to let her jump off the cliff. It gets you that so immersed into the situation. But the verbal skills that it actually helped, that's one of the things he come back with and just said, wow, he says, that really puts you in the situation, and you have to realize, talking like I might would regularly just won't work in this. Same thing with the de-escalation. I think it was the laundromat scenario. He's going into it, and, the way that you would talk, or you think you would talk to someone, until you're in that situation, you find out it changes. And that's what our officers have to deal with every day. So the more training we can get those officers or agency folks, helps them deal with those situations on a daily basis.
It is. I mean, it's super immersive, going into it, and your heart rate goes up. And so you see how individuals will respond when their heart rate goes up.
Right.
And so, we typically will start on a training, so it's through some type of, so we have 8 different type of use of force options. So everything, from a taser to a bolo wrap to, a firearm. We'll take an officer through a training piece. We put them into just what would be like a standard kind of shooting range, indoor shooting range.
Yeah.
And they'll start shooting. And so we can test, again, those shooting skills. But then you're so immersed, like if you tell the individual to pick like the casings up, they'll start reaching down because they really see that they're immersed. We may ask the individual, hey, walk to the next bay. They walk around, to get in the next bay when there's nothing actually there. And that's when they're fully immersed in that. And then we can run them through, we have 38 different scenarios that we can put an officer through. So again, it's immersive, but the other piece, too, is you're teaching angles. You don't get those angles with a standard projector.
That's right.
So, like, if I'm on a traffic stop, on the side of the highway, and cars are rushing by, they're zooming by, it teaches me I need to understand, I need to see my surroundings, I need to see where cover would potentially be. And then if I have an interaction, maybe an individual, they come out of a car, becomes a force, maybe the individual, they have a weapon. Now I'm going to need to use whatever that vehicle is as a barrier between myself, between the threat coming at me. You don't get that with other type of projector-based platforms, and you can't replicate that. It's too expensive for an agency to put someone on the side of the road and try and replicate that. But we can do it very cost-effectively, a 10-to-1 ROI with our Wrap Reality.
Yeah, we've seen it, and it works. It's very effective on how that works to train the angles. The angles, the verbal communications, all these things just continue to add up to where, and it's simple, right? When you bring an officer in, you don't have to have 3 or 4 officers to do the training. You could have sessions set up where the officers come in every hour, right? So you don't need 3 people there. You need 1. So again, we get those officers back into the community. We're already short on officers. We get them trained. We get them back. We don't need 3 people there sitting around.